Hello, everyone. So today I want to talk about the books that have been on my bookshelves the longest amount of time. A couple years ago, I underwent this project when I went through all my books, and I had a lot less at the time than I do now. But I went through everything and I figured out exactly when I purchased it or as close to exactly as possible. I have started keeping really good track now of all the books I buy so that I can figure out exactly when they were added. So I can check for staleness. But these books are currently categorized on my spreadsheet as the longest on my shelves, and I'm going to go through all of these and talk about why they're still on my shelf, and maybe I'll end up getting rid of some. That'll be great. So let's see, starting with The Five Ages of the Universe. This book I've just always wanted to read and just have never read, so I'm going to keep it. I do want to read it. Maybe now is the time. Brian Greene's The Fabric of the Cosmos. I've picked this book up so many times. I think I've read more than half of this book now. It is complicated. I don't know why. It's thick. I do want to read this. I do want to tackle this. This is a good, challenging book for me. In Search of the Multiverse by John Gribben. That's another book I've always wanted to read. This is even a tiny little book. I could probably get through this really fast. I don't know. I just need to push myself a little harder. The Science Fiction Hall of Fame. This is actually a new book, but my husband had a really old, like the original paperback of this book, and it was like really ratty and falling apart, and he really liked it. He read the whole thing, and then I ended up buying myself a copy, this nice brand new one, but I read only like the first three stories, and I really liked it. I don't know why I stopped, so I do want to finish this book. I also ended up buying volumes 2 and 3 of this series, so this is definitely a keep. Faraday, Maxwell, and the Electromagnetic Field, How Two Men Revolutionized Physics. I am absolutely fascinated by this subject. I remember I was really into this area of science at the time I got this book. I think I asked for this book for my birthday, but then I never ended up reading it, so I don't know. Art and Physics. This book I received from somebody. They just gave it to me because they thought I would be interested. I think I do really want to read this. I think I was just put off by how thick it was, and I really wasn't sure if this was art or if this was physics, so I kept moving it, and I just never read it. So I want to hold on to this. Bob Dylan's Chronicles. I think I got this one because he won the Nobel Prize for literature, and I think this was the book that kind of pushed him to get that prize, so I really want to get my hands on it. And I have tried reading it so many times, but I am so bored, and I don't care at all by anything he says. But again, this book is so famous. I honestly have never really been a fan of Bob Dylan in the first place, so I don't know why. I think I want to give myself one more push to try to read this book, and if it doesn't work out, I'll get rid of it. I even bought myself a nicer copy of it. I used to have an old paperback, and I got myself a nice hardcover. So I think a part of me really wants to read this book. So then I should probably hold on to it. In Search of Schrodinger's Cat. I really wanted this book at the time, and I ended up reading like the first couple chapters, and I remember loving the first couple chapters, and then I didn't finish it, so I do want to read this. I have Richard Feynman's 6 Not So Easy Pieces. I have the other one, 6 Easy Pieces, which I've read and really enjoyed. I don't know why I never tackled this one. I want to, so... The Scientists. This book is all about famous... Oh yeah, this book looks amazing. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I haven't read this one. I really, really want to read this book. I think I started it and I didn't get very far. Okay, yeah, this is exactly like something I would want to read, so that's insane. Okay, The Interstellar Age, Inside the 40-Year Voyager Mission. I definitely want to read this book. So what is wrong with me? Yeah, today, this is the year. This is the year I will read this book. A Light in August. Again, I have no idea why I have not read this book. I love Faulkner. This has been on my TBR for so long. I just have never picked it up. This is another Brian Greene book. I think I did. Yeah, I definitely started it. I'm going to read this. Okay, so all the Cormac McCarthy books I have are my husband's. I did read All the Pretty Horses and The Road, and I loved both books, but for some reason I'm scared to read the rest. So these books are not ones I added to my library. These are all my husband's books, and he is now Kindle 100%, so he does not believe in physical books anymore. So he said I can do whatever I want with his books. I will try to keep them and read them. Oh, Swan's Way. I have tried reading this book. How far did I get? A couple chapters in. Ah! I even got myself the graphic novel to try to like help me follow along with the story. This is a challenge I want to undertake, so that's a keep. Blood Meridian, another Cormac McCarthy book that I will read. See, this is why it's so hard to get rid of these books. I could just easily just say, goodbye, stale books, you're out. But no, these are so valuable. The Emotional Craft of Fiction. I was really going to jumpstart my writing career at the time I got this book, and I never ended up reading this one. I ended up reading all the other ones I bought at the same time as this one, except for self-editing for fiction writers, which seemed kind of boring. Definitely The Emotional Craft of Fiction sounds more interesting. So these are books I'm going to tackle. Neil deGrasse Tyson's Welcome to the Universe. I was on a Neil deGrasse Tyson binge read for a long time. I was reading all his books, and then I got this one. It just came out, and then I just couldn't get through it. I had such a hard time. I think I read a lot of this book. I just never finished it. So I will finish it. I want to read this. It just got hard. I think some of the science got really hard. Okay, this is another author that was my husband's. He was obsessed with Simon Singh for a while, and he bought all his books. I ended up reading at least one or two. I read 2 Simon Singh books, and I absolutely love them. But I didn't read Firmaments Enigma, and I didn't read the Code book. But I will. I want to. I think I just maybe started reading easier books. That's why all these hard books got left. No Country for Old Men. That's another Cormac McCarthy that I will have to read. I'm sure I will love it. Okay, The Man Who Loved Only Numbers. I got this book because me and the kids were reading Paul Erdős, a kid's biography. I think it was called. Anyway, it was like a picture book, and my kids were obsessed with it, and I became obsessed with it, and we read it every day. And then I found this adult version of his biography, but then it ended up being just mostly about math, not so much about Paul Erdős. So I was kind of disappointed, and I ended up not reading it. I think I read a lot of it, but not all of it. But I want to read this. Oh, I do. Who's Afraid of Schrodinger's? Have I never said this word out loud before? Schrodinger's cat. This is all just random theories. I think, oh, here's the bookmark. I think I could probably read this if I put my mind to it. I want to. It's really interesting. I want to read this. Okay, Einstein's Mirror. Okay, this is what? What is this book? It's another physics book that I never read. Is this a finished copy? Did this get republished? I don't know. Yeah, okay. I gotta read this. The Unfinished Game, Pascal, Fermat, and the 17th Century Letter That Made the World Modern. This sounds amazing. A tale of how mathematics is really done. I wonder if I started this book and got bored and... Yep, there's the bookmark. I think all these books have bookmarks somewhere in them. I feel like if I read all of these books, I'll just become smarter. Maybe I should do that. The Music of the Primes. I never picked this one up. I think I was intimidated by it, but I do want to read it. I have other books by this author, too. Okay, His Excellency George Washington. I've picked this book up many times and just couldn't... I think I was really, really bored by this book. But I want to read this. We just started watching Hamilton again, the musical, on Disney Plus last night. It was absolutely incredible. I am so interested in this area of history. I need to just get through this. Also, Joseph Ellis, he wrote this other book that I read, and it was so difficult for me to get through it. So painful. So I don't know if I like Joseph Ellis's writing style. Yeah, he wrote Founding Brothers. That book was so hard to get through. But I can take a challenge. Now, Gordon Wood, he's a really good writer. I really liked his biography of Benjamin Franklin. This is probably the exact same subject matter as His Excellency George Washington. I want to read this. I really, really, really want to read this. Calculus Diaries. This is a fun, cute book written by a girl about math. Why haven't I read it? I want to read this. Okay, Enriching the Brain. I think I've read parts of it. I'm really, really interested in this topic. Okay, I'm going to read it. I'm not going to get rid of any books, am I? Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov. I've tried reading this book so many times. I've worked so hard. My brain hurts so badly. I took notes. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna try to finish it. Another Cormac McCarthy, The Crossing. The Code Book. This is that other Simon Singh book I mentioned. The Science of Secrecy from Ancient Egypt to Quantum Cryptography. Okay, I'm gonna read this. Martin Rees's Before the Beginning. Maybe I was put off by how ugly this book is. Maybe I don't know if I'm so interested in this. Okay, I'm going to read this book. Okay, this one I know I have read at least half of it. Or not half. I read up to chapter 5. I remember I was reading it and I was really, really enjoying it. And then what happened? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to read this book. The Calculus Story. Okay, so I bought this book. I thought it was so cute. And then I started reading it and I was like, I don't understand anything. This is so hard. I think it made me feel like it was going to be really easy, but then I couldn't understand it. I will read this book. Okay, Brahms biography. I really wish there was an audiobook of this so I could just listen to this. But there's not. If I want to read it, I have to read it. I can't just listen to this book. It is so long. But I love Brahms. I absolutely love Brahms. So I will read this book. This book I've had for so long, Mathematical Magic Show. This is absolutely fascinating. I want to read this book so bad. Okay, here's Looking at Euclid. A surprising excursion through the astounding world of math. That sounds absolutely incredible. I want to read this book. Okay, last one. How to Make a Spaceship. A Band of Renegades, an Epic Race, and the Birth of Private Spaceflight. Yeah, it sounds amazing. I really want to read this. Okay, so I'm not getting rid of any of these books. They're all absolutely incredible. If I read them, I will become so much smarter. So, okay, well, maybe I'll do another video in 6 months or so to see how many of these books I actually got through. That could be interesting. Okay, anyway, so that is, those are all the books that have been on my shelf for the longest amount of time, according to my spreadsheets and my thoughts. So yeah, hopefully I can actually make a dent in this pile. And if any of these are terrible, I'm just going to get rid of them. So I'm just going to see if I can start reading as many of these as possible. Thank you for watching.